is KPIT Technologies. And before that, you can go ahead and read the disclaimer because I'm not making a video for a buy sell recommendation. I'm just analyzing the stock and doing it for my own purpose because of the portfolio that I've created. Speaking of which, we can actually go over and see the portfolio as well. So recently the markets have been down. So from 2 lakhs we reached 1 lakh 85 and we're back up to 194, and overall it's negative 1.91%, which I would say in a market that's going down isn't so bad. And if you look at the total gain in each stock, KPIT Technologies is actually the the highest gainer with 5.65%, which is also due to the impressive earnings that they had recently, which we will be talking about. So let's go back to our document and start analyzing the stock. So, KPIT Technology, basically, if you go to their website, they say they are a global partner to the automotive and mobility ecosystem for making software defined vehicles a reality, which are also known as SDVs. And another term you need to know is OEMs, which is original equipment manufacturer. Now, basically, what KPIT does is they work on mobility with passenger cars, trucks, and recently they have started with off highway vehicles, right? And if you look at their expertise, it's in autonomous driving and body electronics, chassis, cockpit, and propulsion, right? And they work on vehicle software, which is all like futuristic looking things, and that's because they do a lot of innovation and they keep coming up with different technologies, and they also acquire new and new companies, which we will talk about. So here I added a couple of services that they offer. They offer vehicle engineering and design solutions, virtual engineering. You can just read through these. I just added some detail just so that you understand what it's about. Generative AI powered solutions, software defined vehicles, as we discussed, SDVs, and yeah, autonomous driving features, connectivity, and enhanced user experience. So this company is known for um, buying stakes in other small companies, um, because they use whatever inventions or whatever technology that company has developed to further enhance their own capabilities and their software, and basically so that they can provide their customers with different verticals to increase their revenue. Basically they have their top 25 customers account for nearly 95% of their sales. And they do this because they're able to then increase their verticals, and then they're able to get revenues from the same customers, which is easier to do than acquiring new customers, right? And they basically focus on helping their customers move towards all of these things, right? So that they can actually they help their customers, and it actually doesn't matter what happens in the industry, because their revenues are not linearly correlated uh, with how the industry is doing, which is another thing I like about them. They also discuss this in their con call, and we discussed that as well. Now, if you look at the company history and expansion, we can see over the years they have acquired a lot of companies. And to add a bit of a twist as well, they did merge and then demerge with Birlasoft. So we can see that here with they had a merger and demerger where they got the engineering division and Birlasoft got the IT division, right? So I did add all their acquisitions. Uh, so we can go to this document where I have talked about what all acquisitions they had. So they had about 18 acquisitions over the years, right? But I will only talk about the acquisitions that happened after the demerger, uh, because yeah, these are the more important ones and it happened recently. So yeah, they demerged in 2019 here. So we will be talking about all of the acquisitions after that, right? So recently they acquired this company in May 15th of 2024, and they are focused on creation of world-class automotive middleware stack. Then yeah, they again focus on EVs, autonomous systems, and they aim to help OEMs manage this complexity. And uh, they joined AutoSAR as a part of its strategy in functional safety middleware development. So now if you go back to the document, we can see that basically all of their clients like Volkswagen, Jaguar, Mercedes, BMW. So these smaller companies that they acquire, they're able to help their existing customers, right? Which can help them drive revenues even further. So let's talk about the rest of these. Yeah, another thing, this company is an independent company established by a joint venture between them and the ZF group. Now, other companies that they've actually incorporated is Path Partner, which, as it sounds, is related to you know autonomous driving, and you can just go ahead and read software defined vehicles again, AI sensor capabilities. Yeah. And yeah, recently they have been looking into semiconductor partnerships as well, as they mentioned in their con call. And they look for companies with a proven track record, and they actually make initial investments in the company, and then later, if they meet future targets, they actually acquire the company. Right. I mentioned how this acquisition helps them. So yeah, they can integrate these softwares into their new age vehicle architectural systems such as electric and autonomous, and enhanced market access, financial synergy, and alignment with their vision. So all these companies that they acquire are aligned with their vision. They recently also acquired Dream AG, which was a bit of diversification because they are actually focused with in gaming platform. Yeah, it's a cloud based game aggregation platform, right? And yeah, as usual, they added an option to increase the shareholding further if the company does well. So yeah, see, in partnership with BMW. So we can see here also how they service their existing customers by acquiring other companies, right? And yeah, they acquired 13% stake here. Now, next is Technicia Engineering, and they are focused on prototyping and testing the products and designing them basically, right? So here, basically, Mr. Anup Sable said that they want to become a one-stop shop for the industry to migrate rapidly towards SDV by speeding up prototyping and software access. So basically, they want to do more and more things for the existing customers, as I mentioned, and for that, yeah. So this is what this company does. I had AI basically just give me a summary of what they do and how it's going to help them. So yeah, it's about saying the same things about KPIT. Now next we have Somit Solutions. which offer after sales platform to a more integrated solution for benefit of their top 25 clients, which I already mentioned, drive 95% of their sales, right? And the benefit of this is enhanced after sales capability. And again, they're just increasing the verticals, right? And supporting EV and high tech vehicles, addressing industry pain points, and life cycles revenue for OEMs. So yeah, these are the couple of companies they acquired recently. So let's go back and see. Right. So they had this merger, they had the demerger, they got the engineering division, and they actually are doing very well. Yeah. They have not only got renowned, but also able to position themselves differently from other software companies. Soft is still waiting for shiny days, but like the demerger was considered a win-win situation for everyone. I'll put this link if you want to know more about why they created these two separate entities. But basically, by creating this specialized uh, company of KPIT technologies, they seem to be doing extremely well because they're filling a very big gap in the market where these companies need help to compete with other companies. Until the time these companies are um, not bankrupt, they are working. Even if their sales are low, they will need help in competing against them, against these other companies that are electric, and a lot of companies from China. And actually KPIT is has customers in China and Europe and US and India. So it's very well diversified in terms of geography. Another reason why I like this company is because they have a lot of innovation, right? So recently they developed Revelo hybrid technology, which enhances efficiency by 40% and cuts greenhouse gas emissions by more than 30% and are applicable to cars, buses, and trucks. So yeah, they did. Let's just go over to this article and see it. So yeah, they also got selected as finalists for United Nations Energy Grant for Sustainable Development. So you can clearly see what kind of work they're doing, which is pretty impressive, pretty good, innovative work. And this work is actually being recognized by a lot of people. In fact, I remember the Prime Minister also inaugurated one of the projects. I don't remember which one was it. We'll talk about that later. But yeah. Um, then again, there's software defined vehicle solutions, their autonomous driving solutions, their sodium ion battery technology solutions, and their validation suite. So basically, they focus on cutting costs and increasing efficiency, putting software in a car, and then helping to upgrade that software and prototyping. So they're just increasing all their verticals in all of these spaces, and it's extremely helpful for companies that they are servicing, right? Now let's talk about some of the awards and recognitions that they have had because of their innovations. So here I just made a list of all the awards that they have, and it is a very nice list with United Nations in it, and just a lot of awards from universities and business leaders. And it's just, you can see the kind of innovations that they do, because it's all validated by the industries, right? And yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. In December 2015, Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off their smart electric bus at the Indian Parliament, right? So clearly, he is pretty impressed by their innovation and the kind of work they are doing. And yeah, I see it mentions the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. did make a nomination and appointed the board of governance. So you can just see that as well quickly. Yeah, so he appointed Mr. Ravi Pandit to join the board of Academy of Scientific and Innovation Research. So basically, they created driving innovation, right? And they have been mentioned in a lot of rankings: Fortune India 500, the Next List, Deloitte, Economic Times. So yeah, like I don't see this. I see this company doing extremely well in the future. I don't see any problems with it. Their customer base and market positioning, again, just look at the top 25 clients. I mean, they have names like Renault, BMW, Mercedes, Jaguar, Volkswagen, Honda. I mean, these are all big players in the industry that are planning to pivot and that are planning to compete with the up and coming automobile companies, right? So yeah, now if we look at their financial and growth trends, we can just search it up. Right. So we can see the stock PE is slightly higher than the industry PE, but you have to realize that they have a lot of different verticals. So this may not entirely be reflective of the industry, and they might have a higher PE on general, which we can then see through the uh, yeah, they see through their medium PE, right? And their medium PE is 53.8, which is actually still higher than their current PE. And yeah, if you look at the price, it recently fell below the 50 and 200-day moving average, and now it's coming back up. And if we look at the quarterly results, here you can see a strong increasing trend, right? uh, Literally quarter on quarter they have been increasing every single quarter, and that is very impressive, right? Operating profit margin is also pretty stable at about 21%, and net profit as well, with strong EPS growth. If you look at the P&L here, they just had 1 year where they had negative growth, but except that, it is all strong positive growth. And again, profit margin, operating profit margin, 21%. And yeah, this is despite the fact that they spend money acquiring companies, as we discussed, right? And the dividend payout is also very good, 31%. If we see the reserves, well, they have huge reserves, 2,229 crores. Their borrowings are 349 crores, which is not a lot if you look at the reserves, and it's all lease liabilities. And then, yeah, yeah, and then if you look at their investments, 240 crores in investments, right? In September alone, their cash from operating activity recently went up from 462 to 1002 crores. And recently also, we discussed the recent earnings report that just came, the con call that they had, and that also indicates that they have huge cash reserves, right? Because I guess the data is not updated here. Again, investing activity negative 561 crores, and it must be because of acquisitions, right? Yeah, acquisition of companies and investment purchased. So I feel like these are all good signs where they're spending money, right? And the proceeds from borrowings are lower than repayment of borrowings, so they're paying off their loans also, and their net cash flow is positive. Yeah. Their debtor days have decreased to 56, and their working capital, their cash conversion cycle has also decreased to 56, and their ROC is very strong at 38%. The promoter holding is actually stable at 39.47%. So I think not much to discuss there. The foreign investors have actually decreased their shareholding by 3.6%, but that doesn't really worry me because the company is fundamentally strong. So foreign investors coming in and out, that is happening a lot in India. So, and MIT is actually invested in this company, must be through a fund that they have. And yeah, so I think we covered the financial aspect of it. So we can go ahead. The earnings call and future guidance we will discuss. But before that, let's just quickly cover the political and economic landscape. So the government again, with Prime Minister Modi, uh, Honorable Prime Minister Modi, doing the inauguration of their buses and nominating the management to high positions. It's all looking favorable with, because the government also understands how they're driving value. They're bringing in foreign currency. They are uh, working on autonomous driving. So they're working on futuristic aspects, and they have made policies for promoting this with faster adoption of manufacturing and hybrid vehicles, with production linked incentive schemes, as you must know, PLI schemes, National Electric Mobility Mission, and we'll just have to see the upcoming budget, right? We don't know if uh, this budget will have something about EVs or hybrids, but the general direction of the government has been towards that direction. But even if it's not, on the con call, the management did mention that consumers now have a preference for electric vehicles. Obviously, maybe not entirely in India, but in US, Europe, and other countries that they service, right? And yeah, US. Uh, well, US recently, Trump did remove the subsidies on electric vehicles, but that came up during the con call that they had. But the management answered that they don't see any problem with that. In fact, they see an opportunity because uh, people still have a preference for electric vehicles, and also if they shift towards hybrid, this company is well positioned to help them out with hybrid technology as well, right? uh, and Europe has been good for them with yeah, support in European companies in adopting sustainable practices and technologies. And China, as we know, is focusing a lot on EVs, right? And they did mention somewhere, I remember that um, from China, when they go to China to provide services to their customers, they develop technologies there that can then be used in countries around the world to basically help them out with their technologies as well, which is good, right? Because they can just go to China and develop something, and they can apply it to other things in their company as well. The automotive industry's trends have been electrification and sustainable mobility, autonomous vehicles, smart vehicles, urban mobility solutions. So this company is, I just think it's in the right space, and while the valuation may be premium, I just see this company doing well in the future. So there's really no reason um, why it would not do well in the future, right? In fact, I believe the last 8 quarters they have beaten expectations, and that just goes to show that they are well positioned for growth. Um, they are getting into 5G connectivity for IoT, autonomous vehicles, and smart cities. Basically, just everything is, I believe, is lining up for them. Quantum computing, sustainable green technologies, and yeah. they're also focusing on cybersecurity threats actually, because they're putting software in vehicles, right? So they have to focus on that, and IP and client data against cyber threats. Yeah, there, and also environmental and climate challenges. And let's see what else. Yeah, another thing I really like about the company is their focus on education and upskilling employees, because they have the lowest attrition rates in the industry, and with high cash reserves right now, as they mentioned on the con call, they are well positioned to add employees, because they said that recently they added only 10 to 50 employees, and with high cash reserves they can add substantially more employees if they need, right? And what they do is they focus on the education and upskilling of these employees through AI programs, through basically tying up with universities, and like in-house training that they have. So I just added a couple of those here that I could find on the internet. So yeah, they added some program from Udacity for self-driving car engineering degree program, and Coventry University, someone they have tied up with for new Masters of Technology course for their employees, and then KLE Technological University as well. So just like from a fundamental standpoint, I really like this how this company is growing and how it is positioned and everything it really does. I mean, just think about it. It's in an industry that is declining, but they're still making money and they have high growth. So just yeah, I like the management as well, and they are yeah. This mentioned the awards that they got for shaping successful programs here, and it mentions fostering a culture of continuous learning and growth, right? So that's what I believe is really helping them, because they adapt well to the conditions. Yeah, see, it mentions they are like a long term player, right, in this space. So yeah, this just mentions all the programs that they have. They have a Genesis program before they onboard employees, that they have to have some training, right? So I went to Quora, in fact, just to read about it. There were mixed reviews, but basically they uh, do have a program where they do practical implementation or something that they might not have done in university, and which I believe is a pretty good thing that they do. And they have a young workforce. Employees are between the ages of 20 and 30, right? I don't know how accurate this figure is, but let's just say they have a younger workforce. So that is also pretty good when you're doing futuristic projects, right? And when you want someone to be able to change quickly. Um, so here I just took some notes on the 1 hour 7 minute con call that they had. So I can just go through that. I just put all of my notes into ChatGPT to tell me about it. So it mentioned financial performance. They had strong growth, 17.4% in constant currency and 18.1% year on year. Their EBITDA margins guidance raised from 20.5% to 21.1%, indicating high profitability. They have cash reserves increased from 9.68 billion rupees to 14.28 billion, which is a huge increase of their cash reserves. And their dividend per share also increased from 2.1 rupees to 2.5 rupees, right? There's just a small pros and cons table made from this screener analysis, right? Uh, and yeah, you can just see business drivers growth mainly in Asia, while deal wins were highest in Europe. So they did mention that they have huge orders coming in the pipeline, which makes me think that their revenues will increase. Obviously, I don't want to speculate, but on the con call, they did seem very optimistic about these new um, orders in the pipeline, right? They didn't want to give specific names or anything, but they said that a few players were consolidating, and that because they had consolidated, now they were in a position to give orders. And yeah, they mentioned they are trying to meaningfully engage semiconductor companies. Yeah, here, significant pipeline. One large consolidation deal from European companies, right? New sub verticals. And also they have a potential deal with Nissan when Nissan and Honda merge. They see that as an opportunity as well. And yeah, going ahead, what else did they say? Yeah, productivity gains. They did say that the productivity per person has actually increased, and they are looking to increase it even further. And yeah, the sales pipeline increased by 20%, driven by large deals and multiple clients. Eight new clients with strong pipeline in off-highway commercial vehicles and semiconductors for automotives. The EV incentives have reduced in the US markets, as I talked about, but hybrids and fuel cells are expected to grow, creating new opportunities. And they mentioned how AI and cybersecurity are their top focus areas for future growth and competency development. And then when they said that in the future they will be doing certain acquisitions and they have identified certain companies that can help them, which is something that they have been doing for a long time. And they mentioned they can use internal accruals, which is profits that they have and the cash reserve they're already sitting on, instead of doing a QIP, right? That is issuing new shares. So, uh, which is good for us because they won't be issuing new shares, so we won't be diluted. Now, yeah, they are actively looking for complementary acquisitions, which is a trend that has been ongoing for quite a while now. They mentioned growth in digital cockpit and autonomous technology, level 2 and level 3. So I don't know what level 2, level 3 was. So I did search it up. So it says uh, level 2 is some automation but requires human attention at all times. And level 3 is can self drive but requires intervention in severe conditions. So this is regarding the autonomous technologies that they have developed, right? Um, Next, they see that there is recovery in the auto segment in Europe, then USA, and then Asia. But regardless, their sales will continue because, again, they are not linearly associated with how the industry does because they're actually helping those companies move towards the right direction. So their sales are not linear with how the companies do. And recently, they have um, are doing more with the off-highway and commercial vehicle segment. So we will see more of that in the future, right? And then yeah, there's a company that mentioned that they always beat the expectations and the earning estimates that they give, which is good. And mentioned how they focus on cross-selling strategies. Like as they increase verticals, they can sell more products or different kind of products to the same customers, right? Um, we can actually go through their PPT because I have explained everything in the con call, but uh, I believe seeing the PPT will be useful as well. So let's just quickly go over that. Right. So they mentioned 44.7% increase in net profit and 27.7% growth of EBITDA. $207 million worth engagement closed in the quarter, healthy pipeline level across practices, as they mentioned in the con call as well. Um, so yeah, growth led by Asia and passenger cars, and they mentioned productivity improvement and fixed cost leverage. They mentioned in the con call as well that euro and yen denominated assets and liabilities uh, actually were less in the last couple of quarters because euro and yen actually depreciated compared to the rupee, whereas the US dollar appreciated. Uh, One second. I actually mentioned this in the notes because they mentioned how they have more exposure to euro and yen compared to the US dollar, and that actually helped them. So I must have written it somewhere. Yeah, here. I will just make it yellow. It's easier to see. Yeah, export to euro and yen is 60%, and both these currencies have depreciated compared to the INR, which is good. However, INR has depreciated against the dollar, but their exposure to the dollar was lower. So they have actually hedged their currencies, which is good, right? Then, if you look, 17 consecutive quarters of steady revenue growth. This is what I'm talking about. This is like a very fundamentally strong company, I believe, and 17 consecutive quarters of steady EBITDA growth as well. This is their management. I believe they have very strong, capable management here. Yeah, again, they mentioned how their new investments in trucks and off-highway sub-verticals are on track to expand with market opportunities in the midterm, right? And yeah, they seem to be going in all the right directions. Yeah, again, these are the recent acquisitions that they have. We discussed these as well. And we see here, yeah, see, they mentioned how a leading European car manufacturer selected them for multiple strategic engagements in autonomous middleware and diagnostics domain. And if you look at this middleware, which we saw recently, that they acquired a company that specifically dealt with middleware, right? So they were able to pitch to a European company that we are the complete package. We have everything, autonomous middleware and diagnostic, and we can help service you. So yeah, they got multiple strategic engagements there. Then again, OEMs, strategic engagements here with powertrains, domains, and leading American commercial OEMs, and with leading Asian car manufacturers, right? And if you look at their FY25 outlook, the revenue growth is in the range of 18% to 22%, which is higher than before. Their EBITDA margin of 20.5%. And yeah, here, see again, cross practice offerings. So selling different products to the same customers, AI adoption, stronger Asia focus, strategic partnerships, and collaborations, which is what all the things that they're actually good at. Then relentless execution, leverage, global delivery, building scale via automation and productivity, which we have seen is what they are also very good at, increasing productivity and automation. They are focusing on leadership development and AI enablement, right? So again, they are training the workforce with AI, so that they can understand it, they can make better, innovative products. They have strategic clients. Again, they only take on clients which are which they can have better, like a deep relationship with, they can get a lot of revenue out of, and they can help them, right? In profitability, they mentioned improve realization with productivity improvement, enhance people pyramid, optimization of cost through global delivery model. And yeah, if we go ahead, just talk about why they are a great place to work and continuous learning and just multiple awards, driving growth, everything. Well, we discussed the financials already, right? And what else? Yeah, these are the currency wise, as I mentioned, the hedging details, right? They did make some loss with USD, but they again with euro and yen they were able to more than recoup those. And yeah, that's it. I think yeah, that was it for their presentation. And let's talk about the price target set by the firms, right? So um, this website shows that they have 25 strengths, 6 weaknesses, 5 opportunities, and 1 threat. And it gave a target price of 1432.95, which is a 28.96% increase from the current price. Money control also suggests 50% of the analysts, which is 9 out of 18 analysts, suggest it's buy rating. Um, and in money has also given an upside of 35.1%. And TradingView has given an average upside of 20.7% with a maximum upside of 60.64%, which is pretty huge, right? Again, here 26.75% upside. And yeah, again, as I mentioned, the valuation is at a premium valuation, but they know very well the utilization of its assets. They have stable growth, history of manageable debt, and the ownership strength is, I'd say, pretty good, but it's slightly missing the benchmark. And it's just a great company, which is why it is in my 2025 portfolio. And this was the price I'd set for a 30% upside from current levels. Again, I'm not recommending you buy the stock because you might lose money on it. It's just my process and my analysis of what I'm doing. And currently, it is uh, the few stocks that's actually not going down in this economy. So yeah, I'll put a couple of links in the description about um, some links I feel that are important, and you let me know if you want any other links, because this document actually has a lot. I think maybe like 100 links. But yeah, that was my analysis of KPIT Technologies. I was actually just waiting for their earnings report so that we could talk about that as well, and they did better than expected, which is good. And next will be my analysis of Pi Industries. And in the meantime, let's hope that the budget is good and the market actually starts to go up, because otherwise, it's not looking great for our portfolio. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.